I'm in Edinburgh Waverley, but I'm in the actual version of Edinburgh. I am here for an event called Soapbox Science. I am here to shout on the Royal Mile, basically about my research, and it's an event to promote women in science. It's women only, and it kind of dates back to people preaching on the streets and scientists standing up and talking about politics and things, and that genuinely being a male-dominated kind of chat, and all the history pictures are always of men standing there talking about what they're passionate about. So that's what we're going to be doing today. There's 9 women standing on the Royal Mile in Edinburgh, talking about our journey as women in science and about what research we do, and just basically trying to show to everyone that women are kick-ass scientists, that we are really good at science, and that we are doing great science. And even if we're in male-dominated fields, which is what I am in, then, you know, we're making some noise and we're looking to change that. So I am here today to talk about that. I'm not gonna lie, tad nervous, but actually really excited to see the other women talk, and to speak for an hour about something that I'm really passionate about and that I dedicate years of my life to researching. So I'm just going to enjoy the experience, and I hope it goes well. We've been told to prepare for bagpipers and that we have to overspeak bagpipers, so that is a very Scottish problem that I'm actually quite looking forward to overcoming, but hopefully my tiny wee voice will be able to overcome the bagpipes. So yeah. Have any of you ever been rock crawling before? Anyone want to hear about rock crawling?
Sorry?
Have you guys ever been rock crawling?
I haven't actually, no.
You haven't?
No.
You should go rock crawling. Do you want to hear about rock crawling?
Yeah.
Okay. When we go rock crawling, we normally look at the really cool things that move, the things like fish and crabs and maybe the slow moving snails, but what we don't really consider is all the stuff that doesn't move, and that makes up most of the stuff. The seaweeds, the barnacles, which are my absolute favourite, the hydroids, the sea squirts, the anemones, they're all the things that I am interested in. So why am I interested in all of these things? I'm interested because these things are things that are able to settle and choose what they settle on, which is actually really fascinating. So like trees, they have to use pollen to spread because they can't move. A similar thing happens in the sea. They release spawn larvae into the water column, which means that there are tiny, microscopic, mini millions of larvae there searching for the right home, the right material to settle on. So the best example of this is a little barnacle, and a little barnacle will come along to the material and settle on the material and use its little feelers, and if it likes it, it will stay there, and if it doesn't like it, it will move on. And it leaves a blue and actually these little barnacle things actually choose where they want to settle. So we, engineers, put a lot of these materials into the sea. They put in things like harbours and piers and reefs and offshore oil and gas rigs. And these things are all providing a surface for these things to settle on.
So it's at this exact point where marine biology and engineering are two disciplines that cross. Whenever we put these things in the sea, millions of these things can then go and settle on the surface. Now, pretty much one of the reasons this project exists is because there has been a lack of communication between engineering and marine biology. It's not done as much as you would think. Engineers are more bothered about what they're putting in the sea, about their structures and their uses, and marine biologists care probably more about what is growing on the surfaces than how the surfaces affect how it's growing in the first place. And bearing in mind that every single surface that we ever put in the sea basically gets biofouled, I really am surprised that these two disciplines haven't spoken just a little bit more. But working together between these two disciplines is something I really feel passionate about and has led to a rather weird career journey.
So I started off as a marine biologist. I did an undergrad in marine biology where I noticed in part of my dissertation that a lot of different things were growing on wrecks on my beach at home, like sunken shipwrecks, that were growing on the rocky shore next to it. I was really fascinated about what this change was. This led to me doing a master's in materials engineering. It was interdisciplinary, again, looking at how things settle on different materials. And now I am up in Scotland doing a PhD at Dundee University, looking at how we can change concrete to what goes on. Now, why have I dedicated 3 years of my life to looking at what changes? Why do we care if, say, a barnacle does settle or doesn't settle? Well, it's not specifically about the organism itself. I'm looking at stuff that comes, I'm trying to start things that come from maybe not from here. So in harbours there are a lot of ships. These ships come from around the world, and because these things settle, they can also settle on the bottom of ships. And sometimes once they settle on the bottom of a ship, they end up in our harbours. They like it here, they spawn larvae and they can colonise. So once they've colonised, they might be fine, it might not cause a problem, but non-native species can actually cause economic and ecological harm, and then it gets termed invasive, which can be a problem here in the UK, and we want to protect our native species. So I'm trying to come up with a concrete surface that will promote the growth of these native species over non-native species. And to do this, we really need to understand why these species settle, what they like and what they don't. And to try and do this, I'm trying to come up with a solution to provide natural species with familiar material properties. So I'm looking at the geology of local coastlines around Scotland and trying to replicate whatever that geology has within the concrete. So that hopefully when a native species comes to settle, they prefer it over invasive species which have never experienced these type of conditions before because they're not from here. Now if we can do this, then hopefully we will stop the establishment of non-native species, but I don't actually have the results yet. Currently awaiting some really, hopefully awesome results. A lot of work. A lot of work in the last year and a half has gone into making four really novel, really new, non-toxic and completely easy to implement concrete materials. Currently I have a lot of concrete in a lot of harbours around the east coast of Scotland, and they are all like a little battlefield at the moment, each fighting for the settlement, that hopefully, if they have any success, will be really easily implemented by industry. They're going to be low cost and hopefully really environmentally safe, and just like any other normal concrete, but with a great ecological twist. And I'm hoping when I take them in, hopefully our guess is right. But the interesting thing that I really wanted people to take away from this and to take away from the talk is that you really should open up talks between disciplines. If I can jump from marine biology undergrad to a civil engineering PhD, then you can open up a dialogue with a different department, you can and read the literature. If you see a gap, if you see something that's not being studied and you think I could do that, then talk about it and go for it, because it's only the fact that I have taken the jump to go into a different discipline, I took the risk to leave marine biology and study something that I really believed I could help make a difference in, then I've got a PhD out of it, and hopefully will actually begin to make a real difference. Thank you.
I just wanted to say that Soapbox Science was one of the best events I have ever taken part in. It was really fun, and it really did feel amazing standing on that soapbox and getting to speak to so many amazing people. What surprised me most out of all of it, that I really didn't expect, is that so many people were interested in my project. And not only were they interested, but they were very encouraging and seemed very enthusiastic for what I'm doing. And for someone who is actually publicly funded and just as a scientist and a researcher in general, it's so great to see that people can understand and get why you are spending so much time researching this, and it just feels so unbelievably validating and very, very motivating and encouraging that people were so kind and that they were interested in the project. I really enjoyed the opportunity to talk to everyone and to talk about my journey as a woman in science, going from a discipline well, my undergrad course was pretty much 50-50 male to female, to an engineering environment where it really is male dominated, and there's very few women figures higher up to kind of look up to or bounce off or just see. That it really has become something very important in my life that I want to share and just say, you know, we need all departments and all sciences and all disciplines to be gender equal and to be diverse and to be inclusive of everyone and everything, and get to the point at which everyone has an opportunity to pursue what they want to do. Because I can guarantee you the fact that there are less women in engineering isn't because women don't want to pursue engineering, but potentially there are just certain blocks or things in the way that is just making it a bit harder. So it's just something that I feel we need to discuss and make more public, and, you know, just keep pushing and chipping away at it, because the more we do, the more we're going to see. This event was great in the fact that I got to listen to 8 other amazing women's talks about the awesome science that they are conducting and the research that they are doing. Soapbox Science is a national and international event. There are events all around the globe, so no matter where you live, I highly recommend you go check out their website and go and see if you can rock up to your local event and just support anyone there, because I guarantee you that the people there will love to talk to you, and you will definitely learn some awesome stuff. And if you can share this video around and, you know, show anyone else that this is an event that they can attend, you know, the more supportive they can be, or that you can be online as well, is going to help the cause of, you know, promoting women in science.